When authorities investigate unsolved disappearances, one of their best chances of finding any leads is through CCTV surveillance footage that may have caught the last known whereabouts of the missing person. Some of the most mysterious disappearances have been solved this way, but in some cases, even CCTV footage isn't enough to find missing people who mysteriously vanished. Number 5. 33-year-old Jeffrey Lee was last seen in person by his girlfriend at her apartment in downtown Vancouver on the 23rd of September 2021, before he mysteriously disappeared. When he left her apartment, Jeffrey planned to go gambling after meeting up with a few of his friends and coworkers. CCTV surveillance footage captured Jeffrey entering a high-rise building in the Oak Ridge neighborhood at 10:15 p.m., after which he gets on an elevator. He can then be seen leaving the building again just before 4 a.m., but he's not been seen or heard from since. The following day, police found his black BMW X5 with the driver's side door open near the West 41st Avenue and Elizabeth Street. They've stated that they believe that Jeffrey was kidnapped as he was getting into his car, though they have no leads as to who may be responsible. Sergeant Steve Addison told the media that they're uncertain why he was abducted, but they are certain that someone has information on the case and have asked him to come forward so that the case can be properly investigated and the people responsible be brought to justice. At the time, they added that they collected a substantial amount of evidence and they felt that they were close to solving the case. But there have been no significant leads since, and Jeffrey remains a missing person. At the time of his disappearance, Jeffrey was wearing a dark Hugo Boss hoodie with black shorts, flip-flops, and a gray shoulder bag. He's described as having short black hair and facial hair stubble. Vancouver police have asked anyone with information on Jeffrey's strange case to contact their major crime section at 604-717-2541. Number 4. In July of 2019, Angelica Castillo from Oregon, the mother of 26-year-old Cynthia Martinez Perez, released a heartfelt plea for anyone with information on her daughter's mysterious disappearance to come forward 2 years after she vanished. The last time she saw Cynthia was on the 15th of July in 2015, when she and her husband took their daughter out for a birthday breakfast. They had plans to go on a hike at Silver Falls the following day, and that evening, Angelica babysat while Cynthia was attending a quinceañera in Woodburn. At around 10:20 p.m., Angelica phoned Cynthia to check in with her, and she stated that she was still at the quinceañera and was waiting for the cake to be cut. This was the last time that her family heard from her, and when she didn't show up for the planned hike the next day, they assumed that she had slept in. But later in the day, she checked with her other daughter, who told her that Cynthia hadn't come home the previous evening, and she knew that something wasn't quite right. She contacted the Woodburn police, but since Cynthia was an adult, they told her that there wasn't much they could do. She checked with Cynthia's friends and learned that she had accompanied them to a bar called Tequila Nights, so they checked CCTV surveillance footage from the bar and spotted Cynthia arriving with her friend. They stayed at the bar for a while, and Cynthia's friend eventually left without her. The footage then shows Cynthia going into the bar's parking lot before coming back in, presumably because she was looking for her friend. As the bar was closing, she can be seen with 2 men who were in a blue minivan. Angelica shared photos of the men on Facebook, and someone recognized one of the men as 30-year-old Jaime Alvarez Oliveira, and she was given his address. When she went to his house, she found the blue minivan parked outside, but his wife wouldn't tell her where he was. She refused to leave, however the police were called, and they told her to go to the police station where an investigation was launched. A Facebook page called Missing Cynthia Martinez Perez was created in the hopes that someone would have more information on the case. Cynthia is described as between 4'8" and 5'4" tall, and weighs between 120 and 140 pounds. She has long black hair with brown eyes, and has several tattoos on her body. She was last seen wearing a pink, white, and black floral romper with high heels. An $8,000 reward has been offered by the FBI, and Crime Stoppers of Oregon have offered a $2,500 reward for information. Anyone who could help in Cynthia's case is urged to contact Detective Andy Phelps of the Kaiser Police Department at 503-856-3497. Her NamUs case number is MP39275. Number 3. Max Greenfield became a missing person on the 17th of March 2018 while he was staying with his family in Brookings, Oregon. He was in the habit of crossing the border to Smith River, California, where he regularly visited the Lucky 7 casino. On the 16th of March, he'd been in the casino having a drink with his sister, Tanya. She then dropped Max off at his mother, Andrea's house, and Andrea laid out his medication on their kitchen counter as per usual, after saying goodnight to him at around 10 p.m. When she left for work at 6 a.m. the next morning, the medication was still untouched, but this wasn't unusual, as he wouldn't normally be awake at this time. Max and Tanya had plans to go to the movies later that day, but when she texted him to confirm, he didn't respond. When Andrea returned home from work at 2 p.m., she found his medication still sitting on the counter, and she phoned Tanya, but she hadn't seen him, and they started calling his friends to try and find him, but no one else had seen him. 2 days later, Andrea filed a missing persons report at the Curry County Sheriff's Office. Their investigation revealed that Max had messaged his friends after arriving home and asked to be taken back to the casino. CCTV surveillance footage shows Max arriving back there at around 1 a.m., after which he exits the building and waits by the back door. At around 1:50 a.m., he's seen meeting with the man and they talk for a few minutes. They then walk across the parking lot together, heading south, and he's not been seen since. The man in the footage was interviewed by police, but he told them that they went their separate ways after leaving the casino. Investigators believe that Max met with foul play soon after leaving the casino, and his family has offered a $5,000 reward to anyone who has information on his disappearance. Max is described as 6 feet tall, weighing 160 pounds. He has brown hair, blue eyes, and has a skeleton key tattooed on his left forearm. At the time, he was wearing black jeans, a dark t-shirt, a black jacket, and a black beanie. He was also carrying a black duffel bag. Anyone who has any information on the case is urged to contact Detective Jaron Gill at 707-465-2468. Number 2. Kiera Coles, a 26-year-old postal worker from Chicago, Illinois, mysteriously vanished on the 2nd of October 2018. CCTV footage from her neighbor's house showed Kiera leaving her home on 81st and Vernon, though her family claims that it is in fact not her in the footage, but another neighbor who also works at the post office. Police learned that on the morning of her disappearance, Kiera had called her workplace and said that she wouldn't be coming in as she was feeling sick. But she's not been in contact with anyone since then, and her missing person case remains open. Her car was found to still be in her driveway, and when police searched it, they found that her purse, cell phone, and her packed lunch were still inside. The U.S. Postal Service Inspection Unit launched its own investigation into the case and is offered a $25,000 reward for information leading to her current whereabouts. Her postal union has offered a $3,500 reward. Police have, however, stated that they're treating the case as non-suspicious. Her mother stated that there had been a lot of changes in Kiera's life prior to her disappearance, and that she may have become overwhelmed after moving out of her family home and finding her own place. Kiera's family describes her as being 5'4" and weighing 125 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes and has a tattoo of a heart on her right wrist. She has another tattoo of the words "Lucky Libra" on her back. At the time of her disappearance, she was wearing her postal uniform. Anyone who has information on the case can contact the Chicago Police Special Victims Unit at 312-747-8274, or the Postal Inspection Service at 877-876-2455. You can also submit an anonymous tip at cpdtip.com. Number 1. The unsolved disappearance of 24-year-old Brianna Vibert from Flint, Michigan, happened in the early morning hours of the 15th of July, 2017. She'd left home after getting into an argument with her boyfriend, and went to a Marathon gas station on Miller Road as she charged her phone there on occasion. CCTV surveillance footage from the gas station shows Brianna looking anxious before getting into a red Pontiac Aztek with a man at around 1 a.m. Police later learned that she'd asked the man for a ride to a restaurant, and they also stopped at her former workplace. Here, employees told police that Brianna was looking a little worse for wear, and that she was with the same man who owned the Pontiac. At 2:45 a.m., she's seen in security footage from a mobile gas station on South Saginaw Street, this time alone. Inside the store, she seems to be unsteady on her feet, and it appears that she has a cut on the inside of her right forearm. Police managed to track down the driver of the Pontiac, and he was interviewed. However, he's never been considered a suspect, and his case has not been made public. A few days later, her purse was found in a ditch near her home, and her cell phone was found left behind in the red Pontiac. Police conducted several searches of the area, but were unable to locate her. The last known sighting of Brianna was when she was walking away from the second gas station along Saginaw Street. There, she was seen in the parking lot talking to someone in a teal-colored Ford Ranger or an S10 style pickup truck. She's not been seen or heard from since, and she remains missing to this day. Brianna is 5'10" and weighs 140 pounds. She has red hair and brown eyes and was last seen wearing a cream-colored top with black capri pants and flip-flops. She has a tattoo on her right shoulder of the word family, and 2 more tattoos on her wrist. She also has a piercing in her nose. If you have information on the case, you're urged to contact Detective Hart at the Flint Township Police Department at 810-600-3250. Her case number is 173-990-6458. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up to date with all of our future uploads. But I've been Ty Knotts, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.